Oh no, oh no. Right, okay, this is quite an early perma rope, because I have to do this early stuff now, because a lot of you have got so used to the normal stuff I trot out, and I've done such a lot of gigs the last few months that I just haven't had time to write a lot of stuff. I'm terribly sorry. I'm late, blah, blah, blah. This is called the Orgasm Ray Gun, because I used to wonder what happened if you invented an Orgasm Ray Gun and pointed it, snuck into Parliament to the gallery and sort of pointed it at certain politicians while they're making their speech. While mucking around in the garage with some bits of an old TV, I invented an Orgasm Ray Gun, quite accidentally. It wanted a bit of refining. The prototype was crude. When I tried it out on some neighbours, the results were rather rude. The nozzle needed shaping, the rays spread out too wide. My neighbours gasped and clutched themselves, then blushed and ran outside. But thanks to trial and error and government enterprise, I managed to perfect the aim, intensity and size. I housed it in a briefcase, put on a suit and tie, then went round to the Midland Bank to give the thing a try. I asked to see the person in charge of business loans. The queue, which stood in front of me, dissolved in moans and groans. I did a demonstration and secured a sum of money and turned it on the manager, which made him go all funny. Quite ingenious, Mr. Newell, you'll have to come again. So will you, I shouted back and left him with his stain. It ended in a franchise for public installations of the Orgasm Ray Gun on British railway stations. A row of modern private booths in ticket office halls with pipes Vivaldi music and white clean walls. Parliament have ordered some, the royal family too, one for Windsor Castle and one for Charlie's Loo. So now I'm living pretty well, knighthood to my name, several million richer, but basically the same. And as for the prototype, it's on my garage shelf, not that I ever really use it much myself. It's called Hank Marvin. I haven't done this for long. I started doing this again recently, Hank Marvin, because it was all right. Hank Marvin, the verb to Hank Marvin meaning to emulate a seminal rock guitarist utilising some piece of sporting equipment such as a cricket bat or a tennis racket. I Hank Marvined, we all did, with cricket bats in front of a mirror in our bedrooms after school. I Hank Marvined quite regularly. My mother nearly called me. What were you doing? Nothing, Mum. Cricket bat still warm. I Hank Marvined, unashamedly. On the bed sometimes, standing up. I knew the dance steps. I thought I'd grow out of it when I got married. But the other day, when she was out, they played Apache on the radio. And I Hank Marvined. In the living room. I straightened the place out afterwards, but somehow she found out. I'd been seen. You ain't Marvined! At your age? She made me burn my cricket bat and see a psychiatrist. I go to a special group now once a week. They give us all black frame spectacles and cricket bats. And we have to do it. Hank Marvin, in front of everybody. It's pathetic. Half a dozen men in their late 30s, cricket bats in hands, spectacles on, doing the dance steps. Grinning inanely, shadows of our former selves. There is this chap called Lloyd Grossman, who goes around a variety of people's houses that don't resemble in any way the kind of people I know in their houses. I mean, they don't do that. I mean, I don't know anyone who lives in a house like that. Who would live in a house like that? I haven't got a fucking clue. I don't fucking know anyone. Do you? So I've written one called, this sort of low-grade Lloyd Grossman Hits the Skids. I'm not a mimic, but I'll have a go at it. Who would live in a house like this? Not someone you'd want to kiss. He obviously likes the smell of piss. Probably a total bohemian. Right? This is a person who just can't cope. A total stranger to a bar of soap. He obviously smokes a load of dope. Probably a total bohemian. From a lager cans in this plastic ring and a half-starved dog on a piece of string. The chances are it's not a style thing. He's probably a total bohemian. I mean, take a look at this old syringe, disposable in a dried blood tinge. This is not a guy on a fitness binge. He's obviously a total bohemian. From these carrier bags and the smell of glue, the fact that he's lying here turning blue, I'd say he never reads GQ. He's obviously a total bohemian whose house has never been associated at any point with Oliver Cromwell. This is about money. It's called the Golden Eagle. I used to know this horrible bloke who owned the place where I used to wash up in a restaurant once, and he used to come in rubbing his hands and with his complexion all going blue and everything like they do, you know, when they've got too much money. And he used to say, the Golden Eagle shits today. Well, it was quite constipated in my case. I want my wages in regular stages, require the wedge reg, bosh me the dosh josh. The Golden Eagle shits today, where's my salary, Valerie? Zoom in the loot zoot, ring in the cash nash, show me the weights of my pay, Ray. Dollars or yen ben, sterling's okay, Faye. The Golden Eagle shits today. The Golden Eagle makes it legal. Money's the honey that keeps me sweet. Love that bird for its golden turd and the silver splash of its feet, Pete. Friday night and my wallet's tight. Bye-bye being Barasset. The Golden Eagle shits today. Brass in pocket. Classic. Prayer. And we'll finish with this prayer for the hard of hearing. It's called the Lord's Prayer. Thank you, Mum. Now then, as it goes, this young man says, dear Jim, can you fix it for me to see rings of smoke through the trees? And as we wind on down the road, the Lord's Prayer, alfalfa, with chanted Lennon, Sharon be my bait, die Klingon scum, why Jimmy Young, Holm Firth, a sitting in Devon. Guinness disdain our daisy breath will give us our bus passes, as we forget those who brush past us are senseless. But deliberate Knievel, and bleed a Scot into sensation, or dine with a Klingon, the cow is a Tory, he'll sever, whatever, on them. Thank you so much, Mark. Now you come into the pub, and the landlord or landlady says, what would you like? This is what I'd like. I'd like to be woken in the slate grey morning by the clip-clop footsteps of a woman in heels in the street below my window, and never to be absolutely sure that it wasn't a centaur with secretarial skills. I'd like, when I get up hungover and sleep greasy, not to see the ghost in the mirror of that pale boy with guitars in his eyes, not to feel sad or regret, and not to hear madness tapping at the bathroom window or scratching and giggling at the back door downstairs. I'd like to be telephoned by George Martin just after breakfast to be told that he's fixed the time machine at last. It's 1966, and can I please get myself over to Abbey Road because the Beatles can't finish the Revolver LP without my help. I'd like lunch with Dusty Springfield, tea with Julie Christie and dinner with Henry's cat. I'd like real ale, but what I'd really prefer would be fantasy ale, where after a few pints society devolves into lots of small self-policing village units and nobody's ever homeless or hungry. I'd like it if when you said, let's be seeing those glasses off please, that the whole pub dutifully trooped down to the railway station and tearfully put their glasses on the London train while a brass band played Goodbye Dolly Gray. I'd like a packet of crisps. Yes, Martin, what flavour would you like? I'd like neglected orchard flavour, autumn churchyard, smoked politician, crunchy aardvark and kumquat. I'd like a whole rainy weekend of pills and gin, listening to old Ron X records, having my hair done and bitching about people I didn't like. I'd like to be with a weird creature dancing on the shingle on Aldeburgh Beach at midnight in August while the stars burn holes in the showbiz sky like a million cheap cigarettes. I'd like it if that boring bastard who's always talking about his money on the walk phone had a surprise birthday visit from the demented Alsatianogram company, whereby at an appointed time 2 brawny black hooded figures would burst into the pub, take his trousers down, hold him over the counter and sing happy birthday while a large demented Alsatian gave him a good shagging. And I'd The following choices on the jukebox. High winds in tall trees, waves crashing on rocks, crows cawing in winter fields and seagulls following ploughmen. Then after that, Small Faces singles, A-sides and B-sides all night long, baby, yeah, right. Hey, woo, rock and roll. I'd like that private function you've got booked upstairs on Saturday not to be Darren and Mandy's engagement party, followed by a disco and a punch-up with the girls crying, "Oh no, Tony, leave him alone." I'd like it to be the site that Marvin Gaye chose for his resurrection gig with Jimi Hendrix. And I'd like the men's toilet to have potted plants and a string quartet and a life-size wax model of Isadora Duncan holding the song. And I'd like the garden to have the homeless giraffes from London Zoo. And I'd like more ghosts in the cellar. And I'd like Death to turn up in a Citroen 2CV wearing a stripy blazer and a bow tie hat, then go away again because he got the day to the Trad Jazz night. And I'd like it if you had alien access for the terrestrially challenge. Like, do you have any landing lights on the roof? Is there a sign on the window saying intergalactic credits taken here? And I'd like you to think about all this because this is what I'd like. All right, and a pint of Heineken's and change for the fag machine. This is, believe it or not, a tender love song. It's called Will You Still Love Me? Will you still love me when I'm 81, old and bald, with a leaking bum, clickety-clacking my dental plate, hocking up grollies into the grate? Will you still love me when I retire, coughing and farting beside the fire, awkward as my memory fades, blanking out entire decades? Or will you stick me away in a home catheter tube and a frame of chrome, tumbling over twice a day and having my food off a baby tray? Promise me if you get concerned you'll kill me when my back is turned, club me with a baseball bat if I ever get like that. Darling, if you really love me, take me to a cliff and shove me. In return, I'll promise to do the same if it was you. What did your last servant die of? A question I'm very frequently asked. And with justification. What did your last servant die of? Was it the drink or the drugs? Was it from scrubbing the telltale stains out of the sheepskin rugs? Was it from hauling you onto your bed every time you were plastered? No, it was multiple orgasms, and get it right, you bastard. I think we're just about due for a piss break. Anyone got the time?
1 to 10.
What?
1 to 10.
All right. Oh, more time. Right. Let's flip out and do a cat story, shall we?
Yeah,
Cat? Ready for a cat story? Right. You know when you've got cats, right? And they're sort of like, they know when you're coming home and everything. They're sort of, well, you think it's a telepathy thing. In fact, they've got this little network. They kind of do this kind of. There's something else they do, and that's something that. Well, my granddad used to talk about doodle bugs a lot, you know, till we had him shoved away in the numbered days twilight home. Right, but the thing about a doodle bug is it was a bomb, and one of them actually killed my grandmother a couple of times. I've got a funny family, right? Because like they're military. Like my dad's sort of like Windsor Davis. He talks like Windsor Davis. My mum actually looks like him, and she did before Windsor Davis shaved his moustache on. You know, shoulders, like boy, show them off. White pair of shoulders you got there, boy. And anyway, cats. Where were we? Cats. Yeah, that's right. The cat is like that. It makes a noise like a doodle bug. When the doodle bug stops making that racket, you know you're in trouble because there's going to be an explosion. Same with a cat. But you'll hear this noise only when you've been at a party for a very long time, got home at 3 o'clock in the morning and thought, oh, it's a hitman, oh, right, oh yeah, that's really interesting, oh, what's that? That's the frame of mind, that's the mindset we're looking at. And then you hear this familiar noise, just under that inaccessible dresser, it's kind of like... And you know that you're in trouble. Because what you've got to do, your mission, Jim, should you wish to accept it, is to, in your stoned and drunken state, get under, find that, just hook the cat out, who'll be clinging on with all his paws, and convey that cat somehow to the back door, which in your stoned and paranoid state you've bolted. So you've got this cat that's kind of but you do have a fighting chance. So the thing is, cats like a pair of bagpipes, so you got to the back door, that's phase one done, right? And then you've got your feet chucked in, you're doing this weird kind of dance with a cat, like, you know, some kind of Turkish bagpipe playing, you know, like, and the cat's still got, but what happens if you squeeze bagpipes, which are, say, full of matter? At this moment, I'll just get off to the side here, because there's many different kinds of cat sick, but there's two basic kinds. One of them is the potato salad, that's the cat food simplex, right? And then you've got the one that they call the fur ball, which isn't like a ball at all, it's a kind of cigar-shaped object in a kind of translucent pool. But anyway, in this case, we're talking about the potato salad, because he's been raiding the dustbin, because you also forgot to feed him, right? And he's got, of course, you've got the door, and it's sod's law, he's going to, and it's going to hit the side of the door step. So while you're looking for the cleaning bucket that doesn't exist and the Scotch Brite that's been thrown away because it was disgusting from the last time, you're sort of cleaning this stuff up, and you can just hear in the background in some distant corridor. So you have that last bottle of pomade that's on the sink, you know, and you think, that seems like a good idea, yeah, well, that'll vibe me up a bit, you know, and then you have that joint, you think, fuck me, I've got to go to bed. So you lie in bed and you've got into that blissfully happy state, that sort of hinterland between wakefulness and sleepfulness, where there's kind of all blocks coming towards you, lying there and kind of going, wow, wow, and they're kind of coming at you, obelisks, and, you know, they're just various shapes, and you're thinking, all right, yeah, you know, I can handle this. And just breaking into your dream in the background is... You're thinking, no, I won't let it spoil it, I'll remember. Remember. And you'll remember, you know, and then in the morning you wake up with a massive erection bursting for a piss with a fucking pain behind the eyes, and you go straight into the potato salad, which is just outside the door. The other theory about cats, of course, is that there's heroin in whiskers, that someone's putting heroin in whiskers. Because if you feed cats shit, you know, like, they'll eat it until you give them the whiskers, and then there's heroin in whiskers, I'm reasonably sure. The cat's getting desperate, pacing the floor. He hangs around the food cupboard waiting to score, wild-eyed and reckless, quick on the claw. He's sharing a needle. The cat from next door comes round at meal times and ties off his paw. They shoot up together and beg me for more. Who should I turn to, the vet or the law? There's heroin in whiskers, I don't think it's crack. He said he could handle it. Lying on his back, but last night the chemists came under attack and the only things missing were chocolate and smack and some halibut oil from the vitamin rack. He won't have the dried stuff which comes in a pack. If it ain't got the tincture, he reckons it's cack. There's heroin in whiskers and reasonably pure. He completely refuses to go for a cure. He just lies around till it's time for his feed. But what makes it worse is the dog's taking speed. I'll be back. Next, got Jasper. On the day war broke out, I bought myself 2 pounds of henna. John Hurt there, always adds to the culture, right? I used to listen to Radio Luxembourg a lot. My parents were in the army, both of them, as I said before. And they used to park Radio Luxembourg on a bedside table by my bed and tell me it was a babysitter. And then he'd go out to the sergeant's mess and play tombola, which is a kind of army version of bingo. And I used to this Radio Luxembourg and it's before Radio 1. All you heard when you were about 8 was kind of, but that was a happening pop station. Otherwise you had the home service or the light programme, right? And there was this record called Big John, and it was so deep. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It goes Big John, Big Bad John, right? And I've rewritten it, but I've cast a stainless steel sink in the place of the central hero, right? This is called A Sink Called Ron. I'll try and do it in the authentic, you know. It was stainless steel, stood 3'4", had 2 chrome taps and a teaspoon drawer, conveniently close to the kitchen door. Big Ron.
He had a left-hand drainer where the cups got dry, kinda quiet and kinda shy. And since he was inanimate, he never said hi. A chain for his plug broke long ago. I asked how it happened and no one seemed to know, but somebody said it was a fridge called Joe. Big He got into a scrape down in Golders Green and a moonlight flip with a washing machine, a twin tub dryer by the name of Jean, Big Ron. Ron didn't like it if some guests came in and one threw up or pissed in him, just stood there sulking while we found the Vim, Big Ron. Ron's best friend was a swing-lid bin and had his flip top by the name of Jim. And Christmas time it got rough for him, Big Ron. Boxing Day night was what did Ron in. He heard a bit of whispering, the lights went dim, then a couple in the kitchen had it off on him. Big Ron. In the creaking and the groaning and the cracking of grout, the taps went on to a startled shout. Then the drainer buckled and his struts gave out, Big Ron. They threw him outside with an extractor fan, a clogged Ventaxia by the name of Dan, at the bottom of the garden with a rusty van, Big Ron. They never repaired that heroic sink or found that plug with the broken link. They replaced him with a unit in hideous pink. And where do they throw the condom, or where do you think? Big Ron. Big Ron. Big Ron. Big bad Ron. Let's get on with this. This is about women. I'll do 2 poems about women. All right. First one's serious because, you know, no, honestly, I really like the ladies because, you know, I'm a flora man, I wear a fucking cardigan or whatever, you know. Get me dinner in the oven, bet I'll be home to shaggy at closing time. This is what she's like. She's the sunlight come to prison cells on frosty mornings. She's the last cigarette found in a forgotten raincoat late at night. She's a pale ghost in a kimono on a dusty landing one Saturday morning in summer when it rains and tea is brewing downstairs. She treads on a splinter and bleeds perfume. She's the sound of the key in the latch at midnight when you stop worrying. She's a kick in the shins at a party and her handbag is a mystery. She's the dripping umbrella in the kitchen in February when the sun is 40 watts anemic and taking iron tablets. She has a row of bottles on the bathroom shelf with strange white potions which smell of brilliant women who never got the credit. She's the telepathy between swans who fly upriver in pairs, wings tipping the grey water at dusk when summer is gone. And once a month, she's out on loan to the moon. Be careful with her now. There comes a point in a relationship's career when you know a woman that well that she will allow you access to that most secret, that most holy of places. Her handbag. And it usually happens, it's usually born of desperation, because she's upstairs on the bog. It's got to the point where she stopped bolting it now, or maybe even left it slightly ajar, except for certain functions. And she said, oh damn, I've come on, can you rummage through my handbag and get me, or I've lost my keys, you see if you can find them, right? And it is then you get to know the true nature of the woman that you're living with, right? Because her handbag, well, it's like Narnia. You know, it's sort of like, oh, give me a clue, where are they? You know, it's like, oh, well, you know when you get through those coats, there's a lamppost in the snow, right? Hey, and then there's that little dwarf called Mr. Tumnus. Now, after that, this woman on the stage will not bother you, but don't worry about that, just go straight on to Carepaver there. Right? And this is called Journey to the Bottom of Your Handbag. In the land of missing Zippo and broken cigarettes, I went with vague instructions in search of your Lilettes past secret bars of chocolates and leaflets from the vets, reminding you the time was due to vaccinate your pets. In kingdoms of your handbag, mysterious and old, through wetlands of your tissues from when you had a cold, braved broken biscuit landslides and Irish 50p's and roamed the makeup mountains prospecting for your keys. Down valleys of guarana packs consumed when you were tired, I sledged upon your phone card, which long ago expired. In forests of your hairbrush where humans feared to go, I found a hidden treasure, a tiny bit of blow. Through caverns of your knickers, across the Cough-Sweet hills, traversing cans of hairspray and old cystitis pills. Yes, yes, I know. I found a contraceptive in half an old cheese roll, marooned inside your handbag, the TARDIS of your soul. You've heard about the British Rail Advent calendar now, haven't you? The doors kept coming out at night, so they had to scrap it. That's the trouble, you're taking a part where everyone knows the fucking jokes, man. It's called The Bastard Son of J.R. Hartley. I am his love child. In murderous cheer I wolf my beer, they say I'm human, only partly. Cold as stone I drink alone, the bastard son of J.R. Hartley. J.R. Hartley, I'm his kid. Ruined my mother's life he did, slimed her with his patent charm, wheeled genteelly on his arm, tugged her at the angler's dance, knew she never stood a chance. Who's my father? Who's my father? Grown up now and angry rather. I'll find out somewhere or other, just his name, now tell me mother. First she cried and then said tartly, very well, his name was Hartley. J.R. Hartley, that old sod, which explained the fishing rod, smashed and broken in the attic. Somehow it was emblematic of a line long since gone slack. Caught her love, then threw it back. Packed his tackle once he'd rutted, cleaned her out and left her gutted. In a twilight home for ages, my poor mother weeps and rages, goes downhill in steady stages. Yellow pages, yellow pages, yellow pages, yellow pages. This is called a quick slash. You said, I'm just going upstairs for a quick slash. How we laughed when you came down with your wrists all bloody. To me dance concession. Burnt up cake shop, not very tasty. Talking about a fly and the big bad pastry. This is jam tart. Bruce Forsyth calls it off. Impossible to see you. To see you, impossible. All right, my love. I became obsessed with the film The Railway Children. I saw it 52 times. After a while, I got a peaked cat and I took to waving at trains. Every day I went and I waved at trains. Until one day, not only did Janie Anita fail to turn up again, but some big rough men in orange jackets gave me a severe beating. You know, settle down, right? What do you think of that? Sorry. Some foolish fellows take up playing the guitar. It's a mug's game. I did it for a long time. I think they should, like with tobacco, print a safety warning on guitars before people buy them. They should print a safety warning on every new guitar in case of operator fault, like hoping to be star. This machine may lead you to a yawning empty space where all your dreams and money will vanish without trace. It may cause inflated ego, it may dislocate your brain, it can make you very boring, it can make you very vain. You may find yourself in places where you didn't want to go with a lot of sordid people whom you wish you didn't know. You may wake up with a headache, with no memory and no cash, with a former seaside donkey and a disappointing rash. You may find the music business to be very, very bad, as surprising and as welcome as a blowjob from your dad. You'd be safer with a hobby, you should take up origami. In fact, you'll do less damage if you join the British Army.